Hello, thank you for being a part of our AVID training on students as leaders for the tutorial process. We're going to review the tutorial process and really discuss what students can do in order to help one another through this process. It will require some leadership from the students, which is exactly what AVID is hoping through the whole AVID process, is to build leadership capacity in our students. So this is a fantastic opportunity for you during this process. So we're talking about students as leaders for the tutorial process. Let's review the steps again of what that process looks like. So remember, before the tutorial, students, you will be working on your Cornell notes in your content area classes. And from those Cornell notes, the plan is to look at those points of confusion, those areas that you just do not feel like you truly understand in completing the TRF. So the pre-work is to be done prior to walking into the AVID elective class the next day. So extremely important that the TRF is not done during the class, but is completed prior to, which does mean that you're going to have to spend some time with your notes. As you know, that's a very big piece of AVID, is they want you to spend time with your notes. So you're taking your notes and you're completing the tutorial request form and bringing that into the AVID elective class. So number 3, as students enter the room, the tutor checks the TRF pre-work and your resources, which should be your Cornell notes. So once that is completed, during the tutorial, students are divided into tutorial groups to meet the 7-to-1 student-tutor ratio. Each student is going to have a turn based on the timing of the class, if there's enough time, to talk about their point of confusion and give their 30-second speech. Now, while this is happening, the tutor, which would be the student leader, and the group members, which of course are the other students, their role is to ask questions to guide the student presenter through the critical thinking process. And remember that at the same time, all members are taking 3-column notes. And this can be done in a journal, your binder, any place that you feel like would be a good place for you to keep these notes. So once that happens, the group members and tutors check for understanding as the student presenter reviews the work and articulates the steps in the process to clarify the point of confusion. As it states here, number 7, steps 5 and 6 repeat. And then number 8, students complete a reflection. So after everyone is finished for that day in that class period, everyone should have a reflection piece that they're planning to turn in. So you turn in the TRFs also for grading and feedback, and then we debrief. So that's just the 10-step tutorial process overview. Now, here's just another example of pretty much what we've talked about. You collect the TRF, they're sorted by subject area, so some tutorial groups could be a mix of subject areas, and this is okay, because it's not always going to be everybody working on the same content area. You gather at the station and the tutor sits with students and writes down student names on the participation form. So again, that student leader is in charge of doing that. Everyone puts away their cell phones, headphones. This is a time for everyone to be involved in the learning process. So oftentimes we have students say, but I already understand it. I don't really have a point of confusion. Well, we're going to have an opportunity for each content area to have questions for you. If you feel like you feel confident in all your classes that you're doing very well and you're understanding it, we will have some challenging questions for you to use in your TRF for your point of confusion to just really work at extending your learning in the different content area classes. So make sure also that you take out your binders, have all the students take out their binders and their notes and their resources from the core classes. And then ask students who have the most pressing questions to present. Each student is responsible for presenting at least once during that week. So during the tutorials, ask student presenter to state what subject they're doing. And while they're writing down the point of confusion, the group members take out their notes and materials for that subject. Points are going to be subtracted for students who do not complete the TRF, do not have everything that they need to have, or are not prepared for the tutorial process. Again, students present, and it is the responsibility of the group to encourage and ask higher level questions to help lead that student to the answer. So you as a leader would be also completing the tutorial participation form to ensure that everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Again, you're also writing down the 3-column notes. As the student leader, tutor, you will also be completing the 3-column notes for the presenter, because of course they cannot write anything at this time because they're up at the board. So it's your responsibility to have their 3-column notes and writing notes for them. So this is a perfect challenge to the student leaders, because of course sometimes we know the presenters are going to get stuck. So what do you as that student leader tutor do about this? So there's a couple of things that you can do. The tutor can ask questions and prompt group along to the next step, asking questions like, where might you find that answer? Or what facts do we need to answer this? Can someone else utilize the questioning technique to guide them through the next step? So again, it's all about questioning. It is not your job to give answers. All you're doing is helping to lead the group and lead that presenter to the answer. You can ask students to utilize their resources to find information. If that's not working, the tutor can always look up the answer on the laptop. And it's okay to show the presenter the information they're missing by providing them with the notes or information and asking, can you read these notes and tell the group what the missing step is? You can also ask the teacher for assistance, and if all else fails and no one is able to answer these questions in a reasonable amount of time, then what you're going to do is just say at this point, you're going to ask the presenter to take their notes, take their point of confusion, and bring that to the actual content area teacher for tutorials in order to get that question answered. This is going to happen sometimes. The hope is, though, most of the group members will know the answers, so they will be able to help lead that presenter to answer the question. But if it doesn't happen, it's okay. It's still a learning process, and everyone is still learning from the process. So again, what they'll do is just, you'll move on to the next presenter, and that individual will just take that question to their actual content area teacher. So you, as the presenter, what should that look like? So if you are presenting or you are helping the presenter prepare to present, they're dividing the whiteboard into 3 columns: their point of confusion, their notes, and their steps. Then again, the presenter is going to read their question. So read the question generated from the point of confusion, record it on the whiteboard, and then explain what you know about the question. And again, it's important to include that academic vocabulary to reinforce the learning of the vocabulary. Share your pre-work, including the critical thinking of what you think you need to be going through in the steps for solving the problem. You share your point of confusion, and you ask group members to begin the questioning process. So again, that is what the presenter should look like. All right, what should I see the group members doing? Again, no electronics. They have their resources out to help and assist the presenter. They're asking questions of the student presenter, and they're taking 3-column notes for the student presenter while he or she is at the board. And let me clarify what that is. Each student is in charge of writing their own 3-column notes. The student leader tutor is just writing those 3-column notes for the presenter while they're up at the board. And then after this is all done, everyone is completing the reflection. So what form should we see? Before, again, everyone should have their Cornell notes as their resources. From their Cornell notes, they're filling out their tutorial request form prior to walking into the classroom. During the tutorial process, they have their TRF in front of them. Everyone's completing the 3-column notes. After, everyone is completing a reflection. And so what are you doing? You're turning in the TRF and the reflection after the tutorial. During the process, the tutor is completing the 3-column notes and is keeping track of questions by the group members. So as you know, you've been working with the TRF enough to notice that you are being graded on different areas of the TRF. So if you look at the very top of the TRF, the points all come from different areas. The pre-work inquiry is everything on the TRF. So when you're being graded on it, it is to ensure that everything has been complete on the TRF. Your resources, which is worth, I believe, 1 point, is your Cornell notes, or where you're getting your information and your notes to complete the TRF. Collaborative inquiry is basically, are you asking those questions? Are you really thinking deeper about the question, and are you assisting that presenter in helping to answer that problem? Then you're also being graded on your Cornell note-taking. That is from your academic classes, which of course is where you get the information for your TRF, and then the reflection piece, that last piece that you're completing after the tutorials. So that is basically an overview. It is extremely important that everyone understands the importance of this process. Basically what it is doing is reinforcing learning, and it is enabling and having students start to really think deeper about the problems that they're looking at. So what is going to happen is, as you're the student leader, you're going to get more comfortable with asking these type of questions. You may want to look at some of the Costa's higher level thinking questions to see what kind of questions you should be asking. And of course, you always have your teacher in the classroom to help you with any of the problems you may be having. So this is an exciting opportunity for our student leaders, and we hope that you continue in growing in your learning of the different AVID strategies, and we appreciate you being a part of AVID.